A video has been circulating that shows a man in the audience of a BBC program standing up and asking a direct, uncomfortable question about grooming gangs. He raises the issue openly without hesitation, and many viewers have described his intervention as brave because he confronted a topic that is often seen as sensitive and politically charged. We'll dive into this story in today's video, but before we get started, don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Right now, only 12% of viewers are subscribed, so join the community and help us grow. But almost immediately after he begins to speak, the BBC host cuts him off. Rather than allowing him to finish his point or expand on the question, the program pivots quickly to the next topic. The shift feels abrupt, and it's clear why many people watching interpreted it as an attempt to avoid engaging with what he was saying. The moment barely lasts a few seconds, yet it leaves a strong impression. The sense that a legitimate concern was shut down before it even had the chance to be aired properly. This reaction from the BBC has fueled long-standing frustration among many viewers who believe the organisation has been reluctant to fully cover or scrutinise the issue of grooming gangs. For years, critics have accused the broadcaster of downplaying or avoiding discussions that make certain groups look bad or that risk political backlash. To them, the way this man was shut down fits into a pattern of reluctance and discomfort around the subject. People commenting on the clip have also pointed out something else, that publicly challenging the BBC on a topic like this may come with consequences. Many doubt he'll be invited back into the audience again, simply because he pushed a line of questioning that the program clearly did not want to entertain. Whether or not that's actually the case, the perception alone speaks volumes about how distrusting some members of the public have become toward the broadcaster's handling of sensitive issues. In the end, the clip has struck a nerve because it highlights a wider frustration that ordinary people feel silenced when they raise concerns about grooming gangs, and that major institutions seem unwilling to face the issue head-on. Whether one agrees with that criticism or not, the way his question was dismissed only reinforces the belief held by many that uncomfortable truths are still being brushed aside. Have a watch.
There was no link between immigration and sexual violence against women and girls. I wondered if he has anything to say about the grooming gangs of largely Pakistani descent blighting our communities across our country.
That's a perfectly valid question, but we've moved on, so if you'll forgive me, I'll stick with the subject in
hand.
The
only reason I didn't come in was I wasn't asked to come in. I have strong feelings in immigration, which I gave in my reply, and I'm certainly not going to start putting in racial connotations into what we have to do about immigration or crime or anything else.
In the end, the clip has resonated so strongly because it captures what many people feel has been happening for years. Whenever the subject of grooming gangs is raised, especially in mainstream settings, it gets shut down almost instantly. The way the BBC moved on from the man's question only reinforced the belief held by many viewers that the organisation is unwilling to engage openly with the issue. Whether that's intentional or not, the impression it creates is one of avoidance and discomfort. And because of that, people doubt they'll ever see this man in the audience again. Not because he was rude or disruptive, but because he asked a question the program clearly didn't want to touch. For a lot of viewers, the whole moment symbolizes how difficult it remains to have an honest public conversation about grooming gangs without institutions shutting it down. In other news, refugees will be forced to return to their home countries when it is deemed safe to do so as part of sweeping reforms set to be announced by Shabana Mahmood this week. The Home Secretary has vowed to end Britain's golden ticket for asylum seekers, which has seen claims surge in the UK and has drawn people across Europe through safe countries onto small boats. Compared to other countries in Europe with stronger terms, refugee status has often equaled a lifetime in the UK. After only 5 years in Britain, refugees can apply for a fee-free settlement without having made any contribution to the country. The Home Office said this will change, with Ms. Mahmood set to announce that refugee protection is to become temporary. According to the Home Office, it will now be regularly reviewed and revoked if their home country is safe to return to again. Put simply, if a refugee no longer requires protection, they will be forced to leave the UK, the department added. In changes to be announced this week, the UK's core protection offer will be fundamentally reset. The move will see it far less generous for asylum seekers and stripped back to basic entitlements. Stay for refugees will be cut from 5 years to 30 months, while the wait for permanent settlement will be quadrupled from 5 years to 20. For those wanting to settle sooner, the Home Office said it will require people to work or study. As a result, the Home Office will create new legal routes to allow refugees to switch off core protection into work and study, including paying associated fees. The 20-year wait for permanent settlement contrasts with the current system. That allows refugees to typically wait 5 years with continued access to benefits and public funds. This is despite not needing to meet any of the financial or integration requirements demanded of legal migrants. The Home Office stated, "The reduced protection offer comes amid evidence the UK has become a destination of choice for asylum seekers." According to the department, asylum claims in the UK has risen by 18% in the last full calendar year. That is in contrast to those across the European Union, which has fallen by 13%. More than 400,000 people have claimed asylum since 2021, which is a 2.5-fold increase on the 150,000 claims between 2011 and 2015. The Home Office stated that the UK will continue to meet basic entitlements in line with international obligations. But Britain will no longer exceed them and balance protection against persecution with the need to control our borders. This comes as the Home Secretary is due to announce the most sweeping reforms to tackle illegal migration in modern times, the office added. She will outline measures to make it less attractive for illegal migrants to come to Britain and easier to remove and deport illegal migrants off British soil. Former Deputy Prime Minister Angela Rayner is said to be getting her ducks in a row for a leadership challenge against Sir Keir Starmer. Ms. Rayner, who is also the Housing Secretary, is understood to be offering cabinet roles to MPs in exchange for their support. According to The Telegraph, a source familiar with the former Deputy Prime Minister's moves said Ms. Rayner was on manoeuvres and was getting her ducks in a row for a leadership challenge. The source added, "The unions will back her and help her." Ms. Rayner has joined Tribune, a pressure group of MPs on the soft left of the Labour Party. The group's senior figures say there is about 70 members. However, they say it is on course to reach 100 members, which would make it the largest caucus of Labour backbenchers. The group could be used to launch a leadership challenge in the future. Ms. Rayner resigned from her cabinet roles in September after The Telegraph reported she did not pay £40,000 of stamp duty on the purchase of a flat in the seaside town of Hove in East Sussex. However, those close to the former Deputy Prime Minister believe she's ready to make a political comeback. Those on the left of the party have favoured her over other contenders, including Health Secretary Wes Streeting. An early challenge could favour candidates like Ms. Rayner and, in turn, disadvantage figures like Greater Manchester Mayor Andy Burnham, who is currently not an MP. A source close to Ms. Rayner has dismissed the claims as total rubbish. They insisted she was focused on representing her local community. Instability within the Labour Party came to a head last week when Downing Street attempted to stifle a perceived leadership threat. It comes as Clive Lewis became the first Labour MP to call for Sir Keir to step down. The Norwich South MP demanded the leadership change on Friday night, saying Mr. Burnham should return to the Parliamentary Labour Party and step up and become the next Prime Minister. Number 10 had previously briefed journalists that he would fight any attempt to kick him out and that removing him would hurt the markets. The move backfired, and one Labour MP said the past week had been a complete shambles. After this last week, everyone is just completely fed up with it all, the MP said. Another backbencher added that the leadership of the party was in complete disarray. The MP said there were many Labour politicians who were worried about their seats and the direction of the government. What are your thoughts on what we discussed in today's video? Let me know down in the comment section below. If you have not yet already, make sure you do drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel for more British content. Thank you, take care, goodbye.